A few days ago, I woke up to check my positions, check my crypto and other things as I always do. And I was looking at buying some more 100. And for whatever reason, I could not buy anymore. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, this doesn't make any sense. I tried a few times and it did not work. So I'm like, something's going on. I'm sure, some news will come out or something and it'll get figured out. And sure enough, a couple days later, here is Bias saying, hey, this is what happened. We tried to contact Uniswap. Uniswap initially did not respond. After 150 emails, they finally responded and said, oh yeah, we added a contract, and this contract is probably what's affecting the token. And according to Bias, there was no notice, which I went on Uniswap myself, and there was nothing. There was nothing on their Twitter. There was, nothing about, hey, we're going to be doing this. This might affect your token or anything like that. This might affect swapping, right? And it wasn't 100 the only one that experienced this. Bias experienced it. Other tokens experienced it as well. I don't know why this wasn't like trending on, Twitter or whatever. Like, it should have been, everywhere. For whatever reason, it wasn't. But what I did not do is panic. The reason I did not panic is because over the past, several months, almost a year now, I have watched this team navigate every situation, and they have always done the right thing. They have always gone above and beyond, and so there was never any thought process on, oh, I wonder if the devs did something. I wonder if the 100 team did. Like, that didn't even cross my mind. And quite frankly, I'm puzzled, but then at the same time, as I go back and think about things, I'm really not puzzled. But you have people that, either used to be supporters of 100 or still consider themselves to be supporters of 100. People who have made lots of money on 100, people who haven't made any money anywhere else. Only 100 has given them gains for this year and last year. But every chance they get now, they FUD 100, and it's really interesting. And I know about this because, I'm responsible, directly or indirectly for a lot of people being in, these projects. And the reason why that is because I share. And when I share things, I share early things. Just as I shared Bitcoin early and other things, I share stuff early. Because I know that's the only way average people are gonna make money. And those are the people that I care about the most. People that are working, 9 to 5, been working for a while. Maybe they love their job, maybe they don't, but, they're looking for something else. They don't want to be entirely dependent upon a job. Those are the people that I'm really focused on, right? I don't, focus too much on the trust fund kids. I do know a couple of them or whatever, but they're gonna be okay. And the reason why I resonate with them is because I used to be that person. I used to be the person. In fact, most of you are better off than I was because most of you have a job. When I got into crypto, I did not have a job. At that time, I was a full-time trader, so-called full-time trader, but specifically at the time where I got into Bitcoin, I didn't even have enough money. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's not true. It's not that I didn't have enough money to buy some raggedy beds or floor or something. I chose to invest that money rather than spend it on something that I didn't believe I could afford. Right? If I had only, had, $5,000 to my name, right? I had just came out of a foreclosure and things like that. Lost my house, lost my business, lost everything. The only thing I got to keep was my really nice car. But that situation taught me what I truly owned. And so what I realized, then at this time before I got into Bitcoin is I didn't own anything. I thought I owned things, but I didn't. I had a house. I thought I owned a house. I didn't really own the house because they was able to take it away. Right? And that shook me. So it changed my mentality, right? So anyway, but I didn't have a job. And like I said, I was trading, trying to make a living trading. And I was up and down with that, doing, okay. But I wasn't about to spend like a couple grand on, some beds, and it would have cost, the floors that I wanted would have cost, a lot of money, and I knew I didn't have it, and so I didn't want to buy any furniture when we didn't have floors. So when I bought Bitcoin, and I've told this story before, my wife and I were sleeping on a futon, and the futon was not big enough for the both of us, so I laid down first, and then my wife slept on top of me, literally. And we did that for, 2-3 years. Okay, so when I say a lot of you are in a better position, that's what I'm talking about. Yet that didn't stop me from investing into Bitcoin in 2013. Okay, and so you're talking about making a decision. You literally don't have a bed to sleep in. You don't have floors. At one time, we didn't have plumbing, right? Because I had just bought the house that I could afford, coming off a foreclosure, and it didn't have these things, but it was a roof, and I didn't have a payment, right? And so I say all that to say, and I got into Bitcoin. And then basically having had experience with trading, knowing at this time that day trading was not the best way to go about things because I was already doing that and I saw how up and down it was and so on and so forth. All these things led me to when I bought Bitcoin, I had conditioned my mind that I wasn't going to sell. And those of you that follow me, you guys already know this, but it bears repeating. So now that I have helped people become millionaires, help people change their life, what I have noticed is most people are not cut out for this. And it doesn't matter how many videos I do, how I do it, right? Most people are going to fail because most people are not willing to do what I'm willing to do. And the thing that I do is so simple. And that is, essentially nothing. That's what I do. when things happen, when FUD comes out, whatever, right? I don't make rash decisions. I just chill out. And so literally, as you know, I bought Bitcoin at the highest price in 2013. Literally, only a couple people bought Bitcoin at a higher price than me in 2013. I watched for the next years as it did nothing but go down. And literally, I have family members in my ear. You need to sell, you need to sell, you need to sell, you need to sell, you need to sell. And I refuse to do that. And while this is going on, for the most part, unbeknownst to me at this time, there is a war going on within Bitcoin. And like a very real war. Like somebody who was very early into Bitcoin had decided that, there was a flaw in Bitcoin and they were going to make another Bitcoin because those who were in the power to make decisions on Bitcoin, even though they didn't create it, they had the power to make decisions and so on and so forth. And, they wanted to silence this guy. Now, all of this is going on and I know nothing about it. Why? Because I'm just holding. Because I'm starting to understand what I have. Early on, I didn't understand what I have, but I'm starting to get it. And I'm saying that to say that I tell this story, I show people examples and all of that, and literally with the few millionaires that I've helped to create, there's 100+ other people that should be millionaires now if they had followed directions, if they had just did nothing. And that is the issue that some of you are having right now. You are getting in your own way. I read my comments, from time to time. And so, because, of this issue with Uniswap, people have not been able to trade on 100. And, the 100 team decided, hey, we're just, we're not getting the support. We don't like what Uniswap did. We're not getting any support from Binance. We're just going to move to another chain. Okay? And so that's the decision that they made. And so again, given all the other decisions, let me just talk about that for a second. These people just came out with Dino Biddies like a month ago. Right? These revolutionary NFTs a month ago. Do you honestly think that they would have came out with these Dino Biddies a month ago if they thought that they were going to have to move to another chain in 30 days? I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I don't think they would have gone through the effort of making these incredible NFTs that pay you just for holding them if they knew that in 30 days they were going to be on another chain. So for people to FUD and say this and that and this seemed planned and all, based on what? And it's specifically you guys, the FUDers, the ones leaving negative comments. I'm going to direct this to you. So please pay attention, because I'm telling you, if you don't pay attention, you're not going to make it. And frankly, most of you will not make it. Everybody says to me that they want the kind of lifestyle that I have. And they say that, BSG, I want to be just like you. Man, teach me how to be like you. I'll pay you. Man, just teach me how to be like you. And so I had a course, and I literally told people, what I did, and I told people what to do, and people literally became millionaires. But the great majority of the people who took my course and all that, who paid me pennies for the information that I'm giving, did not listen, and then therefore did not become millionaires. So what I decided to do was, okay, I'm going to try to open this up to as many people as possible. I'm not going to be as in depth as the course, because the thing about it is when you make a course, just like now, people depend on you. And it's like, you got to tell them every little thing or they won't make a move. And it just becomes, people being dependent on you. They never grow up. They never venture out on their own. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that again. So I'm just going to have a YouTube channel. I'm not going to even get into the picking and, like my course used to be about, hey, get in this one at this time and so on and so forth. And literally I delivered to people over 20 10Xs. I think it was 23 10Xs, some 50Xs, some 100Xs, some millionaire makers. Okay, literally. And people did not follow then. They didn't listen then. And it's just so puzzling to me because, number one, crypto is like the great equalizer for me, because it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what your background is, right? It doesn't even really matter how much money you have. If you just be patient with crypto, it has a chance to give you more financial freedom in life. Even if you don't become a millionaire, you have more financial freedom. And literally, all you have to do for those who are lazy is nothing. Now, I'm sure that the projects that you get involved with would appreciate, that if you would help them grow. And so, going back to Bitcoin, once I started to really pay attention and I saw that this war was going on and all of that, that's when I got involved. That's when I'm like, okay, let me start sharing Bitcoin with people. So I'm literally sharing Bitcoin at $150, $200, $300. And I'm like, there's this other one out there. They split from Bitcoin. He used to be a Bitcoin supporter. He no longer is. I kind of believe him, to be honest. But, I'm not just going to sell Bitcoin. But you might want to have some of this other coin too. And so that's what I was telling people. And at one time, Bitcoin Cash was higher than Bitcoin, I believe. I think for a very short period of time. And the beautiful thing about it is, if you held Bitcoin, you got Bitcoin Cash for free. So you didn't even have to buy it. However much Bitcoin you had, you got free Bitcoin Cash. So if you had 5 Bitcoin, you got for free 5 Bitcoin Cash. And Bitcoin Cash got up to 4,000 and something on Coinbase one time. And so that was free, $4,000 each of Bitcoin Cash. And all you had to do was nothing. Right? This is what I was telling people. But people can't just not do nothing. They just, when they get involved, they get afraid and scared and different things. And it's like, when you look at every other aspect in your life, you don't act like that. Why is it that people can go to work and literally be treated like a slave? a well-paid slave or maybe not a well-paid slave. Literally be treated bad every day or every week or by your manager or whatever. But you have to show up every day. You have to eat breakfast. You have to get in the traffic, clock in, do your activities, all of that every single day. And they pay you. And for many people, maybe not you, but for many people, they're paying you just enough to get by. And literally, with crypto, you have people working for you that are building something for you. And at the very least, all you have to do is not get in their way. And yet, most people, including some of you that are watching this video, can't just not get in people's way. Or worse, cause the situation to be worse by lying, spreading rumors, what we call FUD. Again, the very same people that have benefited, people who have money in their trading accounts right now for no other reason but the projects that I've shared, and will now hate on that project. So not only are you not getting in the way, but now you're actually getting in the way, trying to hurt people who help you make a little bit of, like, it's, and again, this is not the first time I've seen it. This is why I referenced the Bitcoin thing, right? I'm trying to paint a picture, guys, where I'm telling you what the problem is and what the problem has always been since the beginning of time, and that's people. You have literally the perfect money come out, Bitcoin. And yet, somewhere along the way, folks that used to love Bitcoin, whatever, now all of a sudden they can't get along with the Bitcoin people. And so they start their own coin because of the Bitcoin people that they couldn't get along with. Just like you had Ethereum people that couldn't get along. See, I'm telling you guys what the issue is, and I'm also giving you the solution. Just ignore it, and as long as you can trust the people that are involved. See, I never thought about not trusting Bitcoin because, first of all, Satoshi is anonymous, and I knew enough to know that the code could not be changed. So it was nothing to worry about. And I knew that whoever had Bitcoin either bought it or they mined it. They had to work really hard to get it. So, you know what I mean? It wasn't going to be like any like crazy dumping or anything like that. So, you know, I had no reason to not trust them. Now, so let's talk about the trust factor when it comes to 100, okay? And I have this up. Some of you don't even know what this is, but this is the liquidity address for 100 on Binance Smart Chain. And I want to show you here, liquidity is being taken out, and literally the money has sat there and not moved for 6 days. Hasn't moved. We're talking about trust. But yet you have people out there right now talking about, oh, I think 100 rug, and I think they're going to run away with the money and this and that. You, again, take solace in information, my brother, my sister. You have to be able to do the research required if that's what it takes, or not just, like I said, do nothing. Okay? You still to this day, man, to this day, you have people that are still talking about the Ethereum situation. And what I'm just gonna say flat out is it was a mistake for them to do Ethereum in the first place. They should have never did it. Okay, and I think that's what they realized because getting into the people factor, the people are worse on Ethereum. They are the absolute worst. They are the essence of who degens are. They don't care about the long-term prospects of the project. They only want to get in, make 10, 20%, whatever, and move on. And so here's 100 trying to teach people how to hold, and literally people on Ethereum don't want to hold, and that's why it took so long for them to even get to 1 million market cap, much less 2. And then it stayed at 2 million for the longest. And then all of a sudden, it started to go up, and it was at, I think, 6 million or something like that. And, it's like, okay, wow, like this is finally about that. This is great. Again, I am a supporter. Whether I'm invested in 100 ETH or not, hey, let's make it happen. I'm so happy for the people that's been holding. Let's make it happen. What a great story that this is going to be, that there's now two hundreds, 2 different chains, and now both of them have 1000x. That's a hell of a story to tell in a land of projects that are just rugging, right? That's what I'm thinking. Oh, this is going to be great. And literally, you have a couple people that decide to just dump all their tokens, and that created, fear, basically, right? It didn't galvanize people. It created fear. And because those people started dumping, they started dumping, and that created, a ripple effect. But I want to show you something. We're talking about trust. This wallet right here, this is the liquidity wallet. And this is as of right now. There's no liquidity on 100 Ethereum. It was shut down. And I want you to see right now, there are 64 billion tokens still in this wallet. There are 10 billion tokens in this wallet. This was reserved for the airdrops. So literally, here are 2 wallets that the devs obviously had some control over or something. And while others were dumping their tokens, they sold nothing. They sold nothing. They did nothing. While others who did not build the contract, who did not really support 100, like the developers, who did not spend a lot of time, while they sold and sold and sold, here these guys didn't do anything. We're talking about trust, man. So why would you think, right? Look at all these sales. 266 million, 5 million, 500 million tokens. 311 million, 220 million. There's sales for 2 billion tokens. There's one. There's one right there. 2 billion tokens. And literally, the people who made 100, the people who worked the hardest, all of that haven't moved a muscle. And yet you think that they're gonna do something to hurt 100 and it's their fault that you couldn't trade. Like, do you when you say it out loud, do you see how stupid it sounds now? And so this is why I'm saying, in fact, I'm going to go to this now. Somebody figured out a long time ago that humans should not manage their own money. And so the reason why the stock market is the way it is because they learned that people should not handle their own money. Right? So most regular folk that have a job, they invest in a 401k. And so let me just explain to you briefly how a 401k works. Okay? They take money out of your paycheck. You don't have to do nothing. They take money out of your paycheck. Right? You give them the authority to do so, but you don't even think about it. They take money out and they allow other people to manage your money for you. And then, as it says here, you cannot touch that money until you are 59 and a half or 55 if you left your current employer. So if you are 20 something, 30 something, you cannot touch your own money for 20 years and you have no say so over how that money is invested. You don't know who is investing it. You don't know anything about it, yet you don't question it. You go to work willingly, you work overtime, you do all these crazy things. They change your schedule, right? They might change your actual job, all of that, and you don't bat an eye. And you have full confidence that in 30 years, this money that they've been taking, that you don't know where it is. I'm telling you, you don't know where it is. Just because you pick a Vanguard such and such doesn't mean that Vanguard is actually putting their money where they say they're putting it. And the reason why I know that is because I have consulted with people and have looked over their finances, and they said, oh yeah, we're okay in that department. You know, we're with Vanguard such and such, and we're investing in Vanguard bonds. Vanguard bonds are perceived to be like the safest type of investments you can have. You don't get as much back, right? But it's supposed to be a bond. Your money is not supposed to move. As part of this consultation, I looked at this individual's finances and I saw that, they had Vanguard bonds. But then I did research on the bonds. And what I found shocked me and this couple. What I found was that Vanguard was actually, under the guise of a bond, investing money in emerging markets. They were taking their money that was supposed to be safe, and they were taking their money and investing it in, highly risky assets in other countries. This was an American product, and their money was not even in America. Now, interestingly enough, the investments were doing better than all their other products. But since it was a bond product, these people were only promised 2 to 3% per year. But what they were actually investing in was actually getting 9.3%. Now, you as a customer, mentally, you're thinking, hey, I'm invested in these Vanguard bonds. So when they report to you, hey, you made 2% this year, 3%, you're like, oh, well, look at me. I'm doing great. But in reality, and this is true for banks and everything else, in reality, they're actually making 9.3%, and they're only paying you 2 on your money. And then on top of that, they are charging a management fee on top. Oh, and by the way, your 401k, the reason why your employer is so interested in it is because they are making money off your money as well. The money that they say is matched is fake. It's not real money. It's part of a kickback plan that they have with the money manager. I can't cover all this in this video. But this is the thing that most people invest in. Don't research it. Don't look for it. Don't do anything. But yet these very same people who are willing to invest thousands of dollars into something that they can't touch for 20 to 30 years, these very same people will FUD every time the one thing that they do control. Every time something happens, they're afraid and they get scared, and many of them end up cheating and getting out. I had to go that long distance so y'all understood. Like, do you see how silly it is? The reason why you don't panic once you understand that you can trust people is you go in, at least I go in with it knowing that it's going to take years. The reason why I bought Bitcoin at $1,000 is not because I was trying to sell at $1,200 or $1,500. My mentality was, this is either going to make a lot of money or no money. And what is ending up happening? Did I ever think Bitcoin was going to hit 60-something thousand? Absolutely not. Am I selling? Absolutely not. Because I've learned so much in this time. And how did I learn all that? By being patient. You literally have this bias token that pays you to hold it. It's one of the first tokens of its time. Pays you to hold it. You have NFTs that pay you to hold it. Why am I going to cheat that in a couple months? You have 100 that literally stops bots and all of that. Stops scams, all of that stuff. You have people being as open and transparent as possible. They'd have to get naked if they wanted to be more transparent than what they're being right now. Literally. Do you want to see dirty draws? Is that what it's going to take? Here's my dirty draws for the day, y'all. Like, that's the next step in transparency beyond what they're doing. And yet you have people who have never made any money in their entire life fighting. And like I said, I was surprised and then I wasn't. Because I've been dealing with this. And trust me, I've got into it with projects before. I was in Chainlink very early. I told people about Chainlink very early. There was a time where I really didn't like Chainlink. And I told them about it. And I said some things. I'm like, yo, such and such and such and such, this needs to change. And I was dead right. And you know what they did? They, cut me off, blocked me on Twitter when I had a Twitter, all of that. But do you know what I didn't do? I wasn't stupid enough to sell. Because I understood. And so that's how you turn 17 cents into $19. And look, even when I sold here, I nailed it, but then I didn't because it went up to 50. If I had been just a little bit more patient, I could have made even more, but I ended up making more anyway with what I got into. And you see where it is now. So I got out at the right time. I'm literally beefing with the developers of Chainlink, literally on Twitter, about something that was legitimate. It wasn't fun. It was legitimate. But I wasn't stupid enough to sell. I knew what I had. And that's the type of temperament that you need. You might not like that, hey, they're making a decision to go to another chain. But once you look at, hey, it wasn't these guys selling. Hey, they haven't done anything with the money. It's still sitting there. So first of all, it takes having the know-how to know how to look for something like that. Yo, man, they haven't done it. It's still sitting there. And that's and by the way, that's why I do these type of videos. But wouldn't you know it, you have people coming on my channel to hate on me, the person that's trying to teach you how to do nothing, how to be still, how to research. And what's so interesting, it's like you're running to sell to go where? To go where? To do what? To buy this? Because this is the thing that was being hyped up a couple weeks ago. This was the thing that went from zero to, exchanges and all that in like a week. And literally, CoinMarketCap did a live event for these fools. Now, knowing what I know now, I know why. This was being heralded as some new fantastical meme coin that, was born, out of decentralization, and look at it, it's just up. But in reality, what this was Justin Sun's meme coin. As you can see here, Justin Sun and Meow, representing HTX and Jupiter respectively, announced that they would donate all revenue and fees from Slurf trading to participants in the private sale. Translation, Justin Sun was behind Slurf. Translation, it blew up because Justin Sun was probably pumping, dumping it, and people followed him, and he has a center of influence, and he knows other millionaires, and they pumped it up. And when regular people came in, they dumped on them. And now those regular people they either sold or they're holding the bag right now, waiting for a comeback. And literally, you have the biggest name in crypto, CoinMarketCap, hosting a party, hosting a live event for these people, trying to make it seem like it's some decentralized meme coin that somebody just randomly started, when in fact Justin Sun is behind it. And I could tell that same story for many of the so-called meme coins that blew up. Bonk, Pepe, others. There's big people behind these. In many cases, it's the exchanges themselves behind these, trying to drum up, interest so they can make money off you, because why not? And yet, when you watch other YouTubers, when Slurf came out, every YouTuber was talking about it. And you look at their followers and you look at their numbers and you're like, ooh wee, Slurf, 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 Slurf. Let me get me some Slurf. And so you bought Slurf at a $1.40, $1.25, and now we're sitting here at 38 cents because you watch some YouTuber tell you to get in there, but what you don't realize is that YouTuber was paid by some big people to promote it. But you want to hate on me. By the way, how's Solana doing? Did I or did I not tell you to get out of Solana? Price was 180 when I said that. What is it now? The chain was working before I say that. What is the chain doing now? I've been doing this too long. I'm giving people free game. The people who have made money off of my predictions, off of my research, everything else, have not sent anything my way as a thank you, as a anything, right? I don't expect it. I don't even want it. I'm just keeping it real. But yet you give me hate when I'm trying to give you education and you're fading on projects that, have a chance. I don't know what's going to happen with buyers. I don't know what's going to happen with 100. But what I do know is I can trust these people because they didn't sell in the midst of their token. Can you imagine how it felt when people are dumping your token, dumping your hard work, and they have enough intestinal fortitude to do nothing and sit there and let it burn? Can you imagine waking up and your token can't be traded and you don't know why and nobody's told you why and there's no communication? And you're sitting here and the liquidity is still there and haven't moved? And you have the audacity to FUD? Are you serious? Some of y'all not cut out for this, man. I want to end it with this statement. I thought this was very, very interesting. This is Ash Crypto. This is somebody that, professes to be a millionaire. I believe he is. He says, you will become a millionaire by the end of 2025. Believe in yourself, manifest it, work for it. Focus on getting that first 1,000 to start crypto. Crypto is the place where anyone can become a millionaire without any special degree or special skill. Here's the most important part. Spend time learning crypto. That's what I did. That's what you should be doing. Spend less time on FUD. Spend more time truly understanding, learning crypto, because crypto, as I said, is the great equalizer. You can take what's, really a little bit of money, and in time, even if it takes 10 years, 5 years, you can become a millionaire. You can become wealthy. And I could talk about it because I did it. It's your boy BSG. I'm going to holler at y'all in the next video.